My great religion is a belief in the blood, as the flesh being wiser than the intellect. We can go wrong in our minds, but what our blood feels and believes and says is always true. The sexual promiscuity of D.H. Lawrence's works, from Lady Chatterley's Lover to his focus on depicting naturalistic humans in his paintings, were clearly inspired by his belief in the equal importance of body and mind. Lawrence's personal life was equally controversial. He convinced German-born Freda Weekly to leave her husband and 3 children to become his wife. They married in 1914, just before the outbreak of World War I. Their first attempts to settle down was in Cornwall, but were forced to leave due to the British authorities' suspicions that they were German spies, due to Freda's heritage and their reclusive lifestyle. Angered and frustrated, they left Britain and travelled together to Italy, New Mexico and Australia, never staying anywhere for more than 2 years. Lawrence believed in the primal connection of energies between 2 people, effectively displayed in monogamy. Freda had other ideas and was frequently unfaithful. Her affair with Angelo Ravagli, the man she would marry after Lawrence died, inspired his final major novel, Lady Chatterley's Lover. At the time, critics were disgusted by the sexual acts detailed in the novel, such as sodomy. Although, they were equally disgusted to read that a lady of wealth might be attracted to someone of the lower classes. Did Lawrence's adversity to sugarcoating difficult topics free the chains of censorship? Was he a pornographic pervert? Or was he a free-thinking libertarian who helped usher in the permissive society? Similar to Freud, Lawrence is commonly accused of finding the sexual in practically everything. However, this common misconception is due to Lawrence's focus on the primal self, similar to the romantic belief of having a natural connection to all living things. This living transmission, although occasionally expressed through sexual action, is more to do with the connection of 2 people as opposed to the enjoyment of sexual intercourse. In reference to the biblical fall of man, he asks, "Do you imagine Adam had never had intercourse with Eve before that apple episode? Many a time, as a wild animal with his mate. It didn't become sin till the knowledge poison entered. That apple of Sodom, we are divided in ourselves against ourselves." Lawrence believes sex itself was not evil, but the thought behind the action is where sin lies. The apple is frequently used as an image of temptation and sin. Lawrence used it metaphorically to depict the imbalance between the mental consciousness and the primal, splitting both the mind and the body from one another. This separation, according to Lawrence, becomes the blood and mental consciousness, the view of blood being essential connection with the environment against following the herd, opposing mechanical thinking that leads to war. Lady Chatterley's Lover was published privately in Florence in 1928 to avoid the censor. The story consists of a cross-class relationship involving a lady and her gameskeeper, challenging the establishment to think of sex fully, completely, honestly, and cleanly. Lawrence wrote 3 versions, the second called Tenderness, suggesting there was more to their relationship than solely sex. In the novel, Lady Chatterley is prepared to give up her wealth and status to pursue a relationship with her true love. Lawrence experienced censorship through his life, but he refused to be silenced. When the critics banned his novels or seized his paintings, he simply ridiculed their prudishness, utilizing his pithy skills as a poet, such as this abridged version of 13,000 People, read on a tram in Nottingham named after D.H. Lawrence. 13,000 people. Can it be they've been trimmed, so they've never seen the innocent member that a fig leaf will screen? What's the matter with them? Aren't they women or men? Or is it something missing? Or what's wrong with them that they stared and leered at the single spot where a fig leaf might have been and was not? I thought it was a commonplace that a man or woman in a state of grace, in purus naturalibus, don't you see, had normal prudenda, like you and me. But it can't be so, for they behaved like lunatics looking, they bubbled and raved, or gloated or peered at the same spot where a fig leaf might have been but was not. I tell you, there must be something wrong with my fellow countrymen, or else I don't belong.